Hey there, my little biz besties. Welcome back to In Good Company, where real entrepreneurs share real growth stories. Thanks for liking and subscribing to my channel. Let's get into it.
So I looked you up on Facebook first.
I like doing carpentry and trim work.
The client journey is so important. Your client journey is everything.
Right. Don't forget who you are.
Let's create this journey that is memorable for the right reason.
Let the client experience the space before we even start demo.
Something didn't click when we were walking through this project.
And I think that's what people can lose in the Pinterest pictures. It's like
Yeah.
you're not thinking about all that stuff. You're just thinking about kind of the overall wow factor of like, dude, that was so cool. And it is.
Which way and this,
Right.
and the contractor's like, I'm the contractor. We can't, I'm the designer. I have felt that very hard the past couple of years. So
Is your husband your contractor?
no, thank you. No, not at all. He is not handy.
Okay.
Where he lacks in handyman skills, he makes up for in creativity.
Okay.
He grew up on a Christmas tree farm, which is not, I'm not exaggerating. It was a
Okay.
Christmas tree. We're from Georgia.
Yeah.
And he was in a big family, and his dad taught him it's okay to outsource. If you don't need to know everything, outsource, which is fine if you have the financial means to always outsource. But when you're a young couple,
Yes. Yes.
just starting a family,
Right.
like you are the outsourcing.
You are all
like
there
you're
is.
doing all of it. So we had to learn some things,
Yeah.
but not what's needed to truly transform the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's a semi truck driver. So he
Okay.
could tell you anything about a truck,
Yeah. Yeah.
more than you care to know. I get it all the time.
Yes.
And he's also a musician. So he plays
What does he
around
play?
Louisville, guitar. And
Awesome.
he sings.
Okay.
He's very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to look him up. You have to
Yes,
text me
Richard
his-
Chamberlain.
Okay. Okay.
I'll always do a shameless plug for
Yeah,
him.
absolutely.
Sings blues and country
Awesome.
and loves Garth Brooks and
Uh-huh.
all that stuff. But he not so handy, right? So every time he has to hang a picture, I'm like, we're gonna get divorced today.
We're gonna outsource this.
Yeah, we're not doing well.
Yes. Yeah.
But when you buy a home, it feels like, what have I been dreaming of doing?
Yeah.
It changed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I work with a lot of trades because not only our home, that brought the trades into my home.
Yeah.
I also have an accounting firm.
Right. Right.
That's my main baby.
yeah.
And the trades are our sweet spot.
Really.
My CFO and I kind of grew up in construction accounting.
Oh, okay.
And so we speak the language
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
From a financial perspective.
It is its own language.
It is.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And she's my best friend, but we both have spent a lot of time on job sites.
Okay.
And, when we were working for this, we worked for this glazing company together. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And we had hard hats, we had ugly shoes to be able to go on these job sites
Yeah.
or go into the shop.
Right. Right.
And so I have a very sweet spot for the trades, not just because I see the accounting cycle and the seasonality, the cash flow, the ups and downs.
Yeah.
But having a blue collar husband,
Yeah.
they'll always have my heart.
Yeah.
So you are probably the first trades guy
Okay.
I've had on the show.
All right.
I was thrilled.
Is there a plaque coming or
Stay tuned.
Surely your husband can make
of
something out of
course.
like a semi truck part or something, right?
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? Some kind of like blue ribbon or something.
Yeah.
Like you won at the fair or something, like the first one. So I was reading over. So I looked you up on Facebook first.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
knew the face,
Yes.
and I saw that you identify as a real estate agent.
I do. This is a night gig.
Okay, so tell me about your day to day. So we got some stuff going on.
We have some things. Yes.
What's
yeah.
going on?
So yeah, mostly it's just called figuring it out, So
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, I think I think what I really like is understanding how things work.
Yeah.
And so I think that pretty much explains everything you can find out about me online. So I bought my first house. I was like, oh, shoot, I do not understand how this works.
What am I going to do? Yeah.
They're my real estate agent's nice. So he just keeps sending me all this stuff and I've got no clue what he's talking about or
my gosh,
how this works.
The process.
Yeah.
It will humble you.
Oh my gosh. And there's so many papers that you're just signing. You're like, I have no clue.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep signing by the tab.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But you wanted to learn more.
Yeah. And also being self-employed, like it's hard to do retirement and all that. So I was like, I want to learn how this works. And so since that time, I got my license. I own 2 rentals.
Oh, cool.
And I'll help, 5 to 8 people a year. I really enjoy finding the homes. Like that's really fun for me.
Really?
And I get to walk it with, most of the time it's a friend and I'm walking it. And with my construction background, I feel like I'm able to.
You're seeing it differently.
Yeah. Give maybe some insight that other realtors wouldn't have
look
access
for.
to. Yeah.
I love that. So you're not. So it's not your main jam.
No, that is very much a side gig for me. My main gig is Authentic Carpentry. It's project management. We launched a retail branch of our company in 2025. It's called Home.
What does that mean? What does a retail branch mean?
So
like where you're selling?
Yeah. So we sell pretty much anything to do with home finishes. So we don't sell drywall. We don't sell studs. We don't sell paint.
Okay.
We don't sell that stuff. But if you need cabinets or you need countertops or you need windows or flooring, with our design background in the Authentic Carpentry side, we're able to, we have a showroom over off Lincoln Baker and
Cool.
we're very design heavy. So we'll work with our clients to kind of develop a package.
Gotcha.
So Authentic Carpentry, we're on site every day managing, and as it's grown, it's larger projects. So I'm at Home kind of fills that spot where somebody comes in, they don't have a whole house they want to remodel.
Sure.
They just want to swap cabinets or they just
area.
want, but we can kind of take all the systems that we learned for our big projects and apply them where they apply, help them with design, help them think through, how it is. There's so many decisions.
Yes. Well, and so that's interesting. When I was working with a designer, and I only have the experience from a client perspective.
Yeah.
Because we do have designers as accounting clients, and I'm like, I don't know what y'all are doing. There's so many moving parts.
Yes.
But when we signed on with the designer, because I looked at our new home as I'm going to build my Barbie dream home on top of this home, right?
Yeah.
And we started with the designer.
Okay.
And it's a local firm, and they came in and we walked through the house and I said this and I want this color and yes, I want wallpaper. I promise I want wallpaper on the ceiling. Like I've gone wild.
You're committed.
Yeah. I'm like wallpaper that ceiling, all of it.
Yeah.
And then once they got the design, the idea, then I got an invoice for the design hours. And then they brought in contractors. So are you saying that it's all under one roof for you, or how does your process work?
Yes. Well, so we try to tailor. So let's just focusing on the Authentic Carpentry side. So Authentic Carpentry side, it is all included. So it's because of that. So I think what I've realized is if I wear a lot of hats. So I run the businesses and I'm real estate, but I think what I love is helping people through collaboration. And I think that out of all I love design. So I started to go to school for architecture right out of high school. And then they were like, you have to do Calc 5. And I was like, I'm in college algebra, barely passing.
Never mind.
That's not gonna happen.
Not for me.
I was like, how about graphic design? That's fun, right?
Yeah.
So I've kind of fallen back into, I do all the design work. So I do the blueprinting, the permit drawings, the cabinet designs, the renders. And when we, as Authentic Carpentry was growing into bigger projects, I realized that maybe we could serve, well, not maybe, but we would definitely serve our clients by including the designers as part of what we do. And that's a little bit unique. I think there's a lot of contractors in the area. And there's a lot of designers in the area, but most of the time they're kind of,
it's one or the other.
Yeah, you're just picking. And so we were like, let's start insisting to bring in the interior designer on day one. So then that way, as I'm doing the construction prints, she's giving me the wall colors at the same time. And then our process is, hey, we're going to go through this whole design process. At the end of it, you're going to have your prints, your mood boards, your schematic drawings, your permit prints, and you're going to have a fixed price proposal. All is one thing.
Easy.
And then you're done. And then you tell us hey, let's focus on this wing of the house. But we always tell people, let's start with everything. If you have a 10-year plan, let's get that 10-year plan in these blueprints and designed.
yeah.
And then when we get to the proposal stage, you'll have the ability to pick and choose. But what that
priorities,
right?
Yeah.
And then but being able to know that, like, so we had a basement remodel that was in the tour of remodeled homes this past year, and they knew eventually they want to do an outdoor eating space, but they're not ready to do it yet. But we went ahead and ran all the gas lines and electrical, so that in the future we won't have to tear up the ceiling. Yeah, and so that's just kind of like the way we're like, we feel like we can really help people out.
Yeah, it's cohesive design too.
Yeah.
It's living out in Memphis, and I have found, I don't think a 25, 30-minute drive is a long drive. I'm like, everywhere in Louisville is like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But getting several different contractors there at the same time, I felt like I had a part-time job with this home remodel.
Yeah.
Now, the designer was great with, look at this mood board. And
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
love this.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this mood board. But then I was part of the project management side,
Okay. Yeah.
which made me hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt frustrated while I talked to the trade people all day long when it's your own home.
Right.
And you work from home, because my office is in my home.
Oh gosh.
You just want to curl up and die.
Right. Right.
Like, I don't want to deal with the scheduling.
Right.
I don't understand why this electrician comes out and puts one plug in, but then the next person can't do the next thing because then something goes. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
So you guys are kind of taking that frustration out, and saying,
Yes.
we're going to manage this project for you.
Yeah, we tell people
love
like,
that.
and sometimes we have to retrain our clients a little bit because they're so used to the contractor just being like, let's get started and we'll just find it out as we go along. We're like, no, we don't do it that way. Like, slow down.
Let's just see what happens. Yes.
So we tell people like, hey, if you will stick with us through the design phase, and
Yeah.
that's when we're going to have all the questions for you. But at the end of the process, you can go on vacation. Like, this is going to happen, and we have online portal you can log in if you care to, and some people never look at their portal, but it has your timeline on there. You can see it all tracking along, and like, we feel like, that exactly what you're talking about, like, having done thousands of these now, like, I can take all that off you, and I can help protect your investment. And we view our job as like, we're kind of the client advocate.
Sure.
So our job is to make your life super easy. And so, we have a huge basement remodel going on right now, and we talk to the client, once a week when they care to. But we've got all the decisions. We made it.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah. So we made all those decisions in the design phase.
Okay.
And that frees them up during the build phase, where they can keep doing what they're really good at, being an accountant.
Right.
And we do what
Not
we're really good at.
project managing.
Yeah. And they don't need to be on the phone with us every day being like, hey, where's Joe? Or, what's this? That's our job.
You're taking care of that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
Well, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
We did a basement remodel.
okay.
That was the second thing we did. The first thing we did was built-ins in the living room. And then that one was awful because it was our living room. And I remember when they were doing these built-ins, we had, are you familiar with ASB at all? ASB builders?
Really?
That's fine. It's fine. I'll let them know that you said that. They have these long walls. Like, it's an open floor concept when you first walk in, and these long white walls.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do a built-in to bring center to the room. And it was custom built. I didn't understand what that even meant. I was like, what's a non-custom built-in?
Yes.
Like, you just bring the cabinet and you put it in. So I sent them a Pinterest picture. They were like, yep, it'll take this long. And that timeline changed 1,000 times. And it was in our living room. So I remember thinking, it was, you feel like nothing's getting done.
Right.
Until it's done.
Yeah.
So for 6 weeks, my whole top floor was covered in sawdust. There were tools everywhere. There were these plastic things over chairs. And every time I would come upstairs and I'd have to do this with 3 dogs.
Right. Right.
So I'd have to carry one and, to let them outside.
Yeah.
I thought, I should never have done this. I regret this very much.
I regret my whole life.
Yeah. And when I would ask them, like, how's it going? What's the progress? And they would be like, oh, we can only set this part today and then we'll be back tomorrow. And so I kept feeling like I shouldn't have done this. It took me months to be brave enough to do another project because of that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm guessing before you started Authentic Carpentry, you were not the business owner.
Right.
You were in the field.
Yes.
Did you see that happen a lot where you're just giving orders?
Mm-hmm.
You're just said, you go to this place, build this built-in, check in when you're done.
Yeah.
But you're also in the home with customers.
Right.
So the customer, me, is coming up and saying, Jake, what's going on? Why, like, my dogs can't live their best life when there's sawdust everywhere.
Right.
Like, I'm not even worried about the kids. It's the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Dogs aren't happy. Nobody's
no,
happy.
and I spend all day with them. So I care about their life the most probably.
Right.
And they're like, Jake, what's happening here? And why is it taking so long? And what do you mean this piece hasn't come in yet and you have to wait 6 weeks? I can't live like this for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Is any of that familiar?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I'm just like everybody else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Is that kind of what inspired you to feel like I need to change something?
Yeah. So I actually started as the cabinet installer. That was,
really?
Well, yeah, long story. My dad was a school teacher. And so he would take on renovations in the summer to keep
sure.
And he was terrible at it, and it went
Okay.
terribly. So that was
Unexpected.
So I came home and told my mom, like, I'm never doing this again. Like, I'm gonna gonna go to college, so I don't work in the trades. And then here I am.
Here you are, starting
and, yeah. So, but my grandfather and my uncles were incredible carpenters. So I had a love for woodworking and that sort of thing. Then I got married. I needed a job, so I did commercial flooring for a while, and I hated it.
No, you didn't like flooring?
No, well, just the commercial is hospitals and schools. It was concrete all day. It was not fun.
That's different.
Yeah, so then I came back into residential, and so finally decided, okay, what I want to do is I want to work with wood. I like doing carpentry and trim work. So I approached a guy who had a lot of access to a lot of work and was like, I just want to be your cabinet installer. I don't want to keep doing everything.
Yeah.
And so he was like, all right. So started installing cabinets, got really good at it. But what I kept experiencing was I would show up to these job sites and like literal tears, like clients, like by then, like, their house has been torn apart for weeks and weeks, and
they see you show up with these cabinets and they're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And they're
what's
like,
happening?
They're lost and they're confused. And also it's emotional because like you said, a home is more than just like a structure, and which is why I love residential compared to commercial, in my opinion, is, it's somebody's heart. It's somebody's like life is in that home.
Oh yeah.
But that's like a kind of a sacred trust, as those people are trusting you. And so
to come into their space, especially if they work from home.
Right.
If they're home all day, there's this awkwardness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That, you have to be able to trust that person is there to do a job, has a good heart, and and they're not going to like use your bathroom or something. Like you can use a bathroom, but not the one next to my office. Like just pretend like you're not here.
Yeah.
So you saw this consistently happening. Yeah.
And I would have, and then, you'd have $50,000 worth of cabinets in the back of my truck, and they were just upset, and I was like, this kind of stinks. Like,
they're not happy to see me.
I'm having fun over here with these pretty cabinets, but they're
like, finally the cabinets.
Yeah. And they would say things like, I just didn't know it was going to look like this. Oh, this doesn't work the way I thought it would work. And I was just like, I felt bad, but I was like, well, here's the deal. Like, I got these cabinets in the truck and they got to go on the wall. So, I can't change it. Yeah, here we are.
Especially if they're custom.
Yeah. I mean, they're just, you order them and I can
this is what it is.
Yeah, they're there now. So, so that was like, I think, over a long period of time, I just realized like, I enjoy woodworking, but I don't enjoy like clients not being happy.
Sure.
And so, as my brother Ben is my partner in Authentic Carpentry, and I was like, what if we pivoted and did like the whole thing so that we could meet the client on day one?
Yeah.
And being the cabinet installer, you get used to working in really detailed drawings and being very specific, and it matters down to the inch, how it all falls out.
Yeah.
And so we're like, what if we applied that to the day one and we, worked on providing a experience for the client that we were still friends at the end. What would that look like?
Right. We might, it's a relationship, right?
And,
and that the client journey is so important.
Oh my gosh.
You think people understand that your client journey is everything.
Right.
Anybody, I tell this to my team, there are a million accounting firms, we are not special in what we do. It's how we do it.
For sure.
And so there's a client journey that the clients will remember, usually the bad stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's how you continue to grow, is by learning and pivoting.
Right.
And so, with accounting, we get told, well, I could never reach my accountant, or they just sent me the return and they didn't explain anything. I never knew if they needed stuff. It was really hard they never emailed me back. And we just take all of that into consideration when we are serving a client. Same thing with what you're doing is you're seeing the middle part, the problem. You're saying, let's take a step back, because before problems with the cabinets happened, there was the design of said problematic cabinets.
Exactly.
And I remember, because the next project we did was our laundry room, and we had cabinets put in and wallpaper.
Wallpaper. I'm picking up on a theme.
I love wallpaper. I want my whole house to just be different colors.
So have you ever had to tear the wallpaper out or only put it in?
Well, I guess because we started with a blank slate, at this point, we're just putting it in.
Okay.
I might regret that in 10 years.
Enjoy the ride.
When it's not cool anymore. But, when you walk into the laundry room, it's wallpaper, but floor to ceiling cabinets. And I remember feeling when they walked in with them, now, I'm sure this is how you felt. You were proud. You were like, your cabinet people are here, right? Like, this is a big deal. And I remember seeing them walk in, and some of them had some dents in it and, completely dirty. And they're like, no, we're going to wipe that off. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to be cool while you do this, because you look very excited. And then it goes in and they're like, oh, that actually doesn't fit. And all I could feel was what happened.
Yeah.
This part should have been a plug and play.
Yeah.
What happened in the beginning that wasn't communicated to this part?
Yeah.
While I didn't cry in front of them, there are many times that I look at it and I'm like, I should have said something.
Yeah.
Because I was just trying to be, oh, it's not a big deal. I don't even care.
Be the cool customer.
Be cool.
Yeah.
And I regret it.
Yeah.
So you're saying, let's take it back and let's create this journey that is memorable for the right reasons.
Right.
And
let's take some, let's make sure all the questions get answered, so let's not and I feel like, and that's where I love the 3D, the rendering side
Those
of it
were cool.
is being able to be essentially let the client experience the space before we even start demo,
right?
Through real carefully created in tandem with the designer, so I can kind of make sure that her vision where she's going to lead the space is
actually
represented in the renders.
Yeah.
And then,
so what is this 3D? What is that?
So do you watch HGTV at all?
I mean, so much.
Of
course, that's why I'm always.
So you know how they do those animated things where it's like, am I in the room or not? Things are popping in.
Oh, okay.
A lot of that is done with rendering.
Okay, so y'all do that.
Yeah. So
I've never had one of those.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll create a floor plan, and it's so I actually have one program that I create the floor plans and things in.
Okay.
And then once we've decided what that is, then I'll take it into another program and I'll turn it into a video. It's like you're walking through the finished space.
Yeah,
and
nice.
So, and that's super helpful. I feel like we kind of have two mantras. The first is a designer taught me. He said, let's start with a 10 and work down. So we're always like, all right, let's go with what's your dream?
Right.
Let's get on paper. And then the other thing is ultimately what you want is going to be discovered through iteration. So
Sure.
everybody has I'm frustrated with this thing. What if we just move the wall? And where I found the trap is if you just move the wall, don't move the wall. Iterate first. Be like, what if we move the wall here? What if we here? So recently we just finished up maybe 2 weeks ago a design presentation, but in it we had went to the house. The client was like, hey, here's what we hate about this.
Yeah.
This is what we're thinking. So I created that as one option, but then I created two other options and let them kind of fly through each of those spaces and been and I told them I want you to act like you're at an open house. You're not buying this yet.
Yeah.
But I want you to experience it and feel it. And my goal with it is when the project's all over, what I don't want to happen is the client to be like, what if we had to put the fridge over there instead of here?
Yes.
What I want them to be is remember when we saw the idea to put the fridge over there? I'm so glad we didn't do that. I'm glad we put it there. It's a different experience.
100%.
And I think did I do it or not? We recently finished up a house. And then months later, I'd done a render for them to show them where their Christmas tree was going to be. And so months later, we get a picture of their family with the Christmas tree up, and it looks just like the render. And I'm like, there you go.
Perfect. I love that. You're thinking ahead, because a lot of the design is in the moment, right?
Right.
And when people have these big ideas, you know, like the TikTok videos we were talking about, that the designer has this big idea and the contractor's like, we actually can't do an arch in that hallway. You know, so I always start with this big idea, then the designer and the contractor bring it to life. But having the options and then showing what it's going to look like seasonally will help it feel more real and personable. So you don't feel like you're just getting a drawing that they've done before and maybe it'll work for your space. It's like really personable.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's like, that's what I love to try to figure out better and better ways to communicate to people is to really encourage them. Like Pinterest is fantastic. Like Pinterest is like a wellspring of ideas. And now we're starting to actually get a lot of clients with AI being like, you know, I snapped a picture of my room and I said, AI, turn it into this. And that's great. It's like, it does things. But where I think myself and designers come in handy is that's great, but don't forget who you are. You know, like the ultimately like your home has everything to do with your lifestyle and your quality of life. And so, you know, it can be really easy to be like, look at this beautiful picture. And you get caught up in this beautiful picture, but you're not thinking about how I use the space.
Sure.
You know, so do you host 10 people every week for an event, or is it just you and your husband forever? Or is it dogs? Or thinking through design in the sense of like, okay, this is aesthetically what I like, but then how do I actually use the space and interact with it? And thinking at that level, then you get a result that's important. Like, I love this, you know?
Bringing it together.
Because
so many times when you are in a new home, I think when you're shopping for a home too, you like the idea of a 3,000 to 4,000 square foot home. That sounds great. It's all this space and all these things that you can, but the reality is, do you want to clean that space?
Right.
Do you need that space? You know, finding the happy medium. Pinterest is sometimes the downfall. I see a room and I see 100 plants and I'm like, I love that. I would breathe so good in that room. Do I want to take care of 100 plants? No.
Right.
So it's finding the happy medium. I love that.
You mentioned that about like your client journey. I'd love to hear like what is, in your opinion, as a business owner, like what is the secret to the client journey? Like what is the thing that you're like, I know if I nail this, the client journey is a done deal.
It's evolved. When I first started, it was just me. So I was every step and that was awful. Having a team helps fulfill the dream client journey for sure. And I look at the first, 30 days as dating. And I tell them that because I want them to feel like we're getting to know each other. And so it always starts with a blind date, and it could be in person, it could be online. It's funny. Usually the trades want a phone call. If I send them a Zoom link, they're going to be like, I don't do technology. Like, no.
I personally hate Zoom so much.
Like they want a phone call or they want to shake my hand in person.
Right.
And so we try to make that happen. And every client is wildly different. We can have two of the same industry, wildly different needs, wildly different communication styles. Some clients like text messaging. So I had to make sure I was hiring team members that were okay with that because it's your phone, it's personal. So for us, we know we're successful when things are hard, tax season, and they're frustrated with, there's no way I made that much.
Right.
And we're like, here we are. Or where did all my money go? And we're like, oh, we actually don't spend your money. It's so weird. We just like organize it. But it's a lot of frustration and we get it.
Right.
So we know it was successful when it's the hardest, when they're the most frustrated, when deadlines are approaching, when they're having a hard season in business and the phone call ends with, I trust you guys. Like I know you guys are going to do a great job. I'm sorry if I was kind of a doo-doo head with other colorful words.
Right.
But I trust you guys. That's how I know like we have done something right for them to be that upset over the situation, not at us. And then to still trust that we've got them. There's a lot of hand holding. We do monthly check-in calls and some people like them and some people are like, no, I don't need to talk to you every month. That sounds awful.
Why are you calling me?
Like, no, thanks. I don't need to, like, I got it. But the ones that we can hop on a call and maybe we haven't seen them in 6 months, but we've been communicating and it's like like coming to a friend. It's like, oh, my team is in baby making phases right now.
Okay.
They range from ages 20, I think our youngest is 21 to 37.
Okay.
All women. And so we've had 3 or 4 babies in the past couple of years.
It's like, is tax season off limits? Like you cannot deliver a baby.
I try to tell them, but I
season.
swear, I'm like, either
January to March.
Yes, they don't care. They're like, well, here we are. We work from home.
Yeah.
You make it super comfortable for us
That's
to be
true.
home. And so when we get on those calls and our clients are like, oh my gosh, your kids are getting so big. It's because like they're growing with us. So, you know, successful relationships look different for every client,
Right.
but it's the trust that I think as the owner, because I'm not in the day-to-day anymore,
Right.
thankfully.
Yes.
When I can get on their review calls, their annual review calls, or I'm in a BNI with a lot of other owners that are our clients, and they just come up and rave about it.
That's
and
awesome.
I know in the back of my mind, like, oh, my team member just told me you were kind of an asshole. But they'll come up to me and say, gosh, I just love working with Raquel. She is so smart. And I know she always gets it done. And gosh, I put her through the ringer, but she always has a smile on her face. And I'm like,
Tony, go easy on Raquel,
thanks.
please.
Yeah, like, feel like we should circle back to that. But yeah, and the raving fans.
Yeah,
that's the goal. We
that's
want to
awesome.
just create raving fans.
For sure. Yeah.
And that's hard.
It is. It's like, I think it takes so much intentionality and so much foresight. And I think, you know, and honestly, I think that's why a lot of people aren't willing to pay the price for that for their clients, is because it requires so much of you to be 10 steps ahead of them all the time.
For sure.
You know? And it's exhausting.
Yeah. And you don't want to be, I'm sure you see this now, especially with what you do. You don't want to be the cheapest.
Right.
When I started, I was like, I want to be the cheapest bookkeeper.
That's terrible.
I know. I was like, I just want to make it so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thinking that price would make it the no-brainer.
Right.
Like if I'm the cheapest one, they'll be like, well, I guess. Like, how can I say no? What I found was there are other ways to be the no-brainer higher.
Yeah.
And now that we're not the cheapest, we're like middle of the road. I hear a lot of no's.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to someone that can do it for X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like our job as the owners isn't to convince them that they should spend more money with us, is to convince them that we're just the better pick.
Right. Yeah.
Do you find that, especially with what you do? Because I interviewed a lot of designers. I did.
Yeah. No, and obviously price is a big consideration. I get it. Yeah. Like, you know, renovation, it's just getting more and more expensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, since I see lines and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a lot.
Do you feel like,
yeah,
turn it over and I'll look away?
Yeah. But I feel like at the end of the day, you know, it's all numbers, and everybody, you know, there's only so many ways you can hack that number, you know, like, and so, you know, my question would be like, you know, first of all, like if the numbers looks a lot lower than my number, you know, why is that? Like, you know, what's maybe not included in their scope that I've included in mine? You know, like quality of material. And there comes a point where, you know, as I came up, you know, Louisville's not that big of a town. I feel like I've worked with most of the subcontractors out there, and
it happens faster than you think. You're like, there's so many subcontractors, and then you go to a networking meeting, and you're like,
yeah,
I know almost everybody here now.
Right. And so, like, you know, I won't name names, but I have Rolodex and I have tiers in that Rolodex, and I know what each kind
price,
of like,
quality,
exactly,
timeliness.
And it's kind of like, so for my Authentic Carpentry clients, I'm only using certain trades that I trust, and I know, like, they're not going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
And these are guys that are obsessed with quality like I am. And, you know, like, and so I trust them. I have other guys that I know of that, like, I can get it done a little cheaper, but at what cost, you know? And ultimately, like, you know, if it's maybe my rental, I'm like, okay, I can deal with the frustration of like, the timeline got screwed over. I'll just deal with that myself. But if it's like, somebody living in the home, it's a big deal to them that they're, totally you know, it's protected and taken care of, and it's executed at a high level. And so, you know, it's kind of like you said, at the end of the day, I hear your concerns, but our price is built off of our experience of what's going to serve you the best, you know? And that I can only adjust that so much. Actually, I don't have as much control over that as what people think I have.
Well, yes. And I know when I was interviewing designers, I ended up going with one that was already a client, because I do try to use our clients for services whenever I can. Right. And I remember her asking me that first day, are we working on a Pottery Barn budget or a Wayfair budget? Now, I didn't know how to answer that, because I was like, I mean, I like both.
What an odd question.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
And so I did a couple of projects with her, but I learned I need someone that's going to take my vision. If I say I want hardwood floors, but then you show me like, here's what hardwood floors look like,
Right.
but also here's the upkeep. Just want to let you know that.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll be like, yeah, well, then don't do that. Let's do those like Elemental P ones.
Yeah,
You know, those are cheaper. You could still get the same look.
Yeah.
So this new designing firm kind of meets in the middle. They didn't ask me if I have a Wayfair or a Pottery Barn budget because I felt like they were saying, are you a peasant or are you elite? I'm like, well, sometimes I'm both. Like, I can be both at the same time.
Can I go back and forth?
Yeah. And so it sounds like you are also trying to meet the clients where they are. If you slide a number and they say, oh, well, that's way more than I thought. Well, then what can we
for sure
adjust?
Yeah. And that's where, so like we work really hard to get to a fixed price proposal before we start any work. And that takes a lot of work on the front end, but our goal is the client's confidence, you know, but in that, you know, so not too long ago we had, the designer approached us. She'd already talked to the clients and it was amazing. I had to reverse photo search their inspiration photos, and it was from like Abu Dhabi or something. It was a gorgeous.
So fun.
But they were like, "Hey, well, this was our original inspiration. We want to do this, but we want our budget to be about half." Oh. And so we're like, "All right, well, okay,
challenge accepted."
But knowing that, it was like, "All right, well, let's get to work." And you know, we did, and we came up with a really good package that. Obviously, there's compromises. Like, obviously, we could not execute all the things that were originally thought of, but we gave them 90% of it at half the cost because we took the time on the front to design, to go back and forth and be like, you know, well, we can't do, you know, the glass encased sauna, but what if we reuse this one over here, or do this thing over here and move it and do this thing? And so they still got kind of all the zones that they were going for, just simplified. And I think it's going to be an amazing product. And I think that's just really looking out once again, kind of that advocacy thing. Like, who are you? What are you like? What's it going to be like for you to experience the space? And then also matching that with your reality. You know, like what's your budget?
Hard. Yeah. That can be hard.
Yeah.
So it's funny. One of my kiddos, he's 14. He's kind of a doo-doo head too. At this age.
You'll have those from time to time.
Yeah. But thankfully I have an 8-year-old as well. And so I feel like he kind of picks up when I'm like, that was kind of hurtful, bro. That was hurtful. He says that I'm the Adam Sandler. Oh. And so at first I was like, why are you always mean? Why are you always trying to hurt me?
Stop being like that.
Yeah. And he said, no, well, in his own 14-year-old way, he said, I don't mean in a bad way. Like, Adam shows up and makes bands. Also didn't know what that meant. And I was like, making bands like a band? And he was like,
gosh,
you know,
you're the worst mom.
Yeah, I just don't know anything. No, like Adam Sandler shows up and makes bands. So people that look like Adam Sandler. I guess I look like Adam Sandler is where that came from.
It was like an aesthetic thing.
Yeah, it was like you don't wear the fancy clothes and you don't like buy the brand this and that, but you still show up and make money.
Yeah.
And so I was like, thanks, I think. But what I've learned through his backhanded compliments and working with people is you never know what someone has going on. When you show up at a house and maybe it's a tiny home, maybe this has happened more recently where I'll get on a consult with someone and they'll be like, oh, I haven't had this business that long. And I mean, it's not like a big, huge business. It's not making that much. And that's in their scope. Yeah. And we look at the business and I'm like, they have 100 employees.
Yeah.
They are making $12 million a year.
Seems
like what are they talking about? You just never know what you're working with. So when you pull up to houses, have you learned or felt like we're going to go in open-minded because we don't know what they have going on?
Yeah. Yeah. You really don't. Like you can totally be.
Never know.
Yeah. 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 I think like, I'm sure it's a skill. My wife says I learned it from all the people that hollered at me for the years of being the cabinet installer.
Yeah. It made you have tough skin.
Yeah. Yeah. But also you just learn, I think as a business owner, you have to, and I just care about people, but just learning how to pick up on what people actually care about, you know, like you can talk to people all day long, but it's about finding what it is that like, you know, for me, it's identifying what they're most scared of, because renovations are scary, but they're not scary for the same reason to everybody. You know, some people are scared of how much it's going to cost. Some people are scared about how it's going to turn their life upside down. Some people are scared because they had a bad experience and it went on for 8 months longer than the last contractor said it was going to take. And so I need to go in and find out who this person is. And then also the other thing is they're scared of something, but they also have like their utmost priority. There's something that matters the most to them about both the project and their current lifestyle that they're not willing to sacrifice. And so it's learning like what is that number one priority for this project, and then also what is like one thing you're not willing to give up in your current lifestyle.
Like what?
So
what are some things people are like, that's a no for me, dog?
Like if you know, you have a very set pattern of hosting events and you're going to do this construction project, but that's got to keep going on, or you know, and so you want to uncover that, and then also but then also for a project, you know, everybody's showing you a Pinterest picture, but what it is that they really want as an outcome for that Pinterest picture could be wildly different. So two people could show you the same picture, and one person's envisioning, you know, the family Thanksgiving once a year. The other person is envisioning, you know, the poker night with their friends.
Interesting.
Which is two different uses of a similar aesthetic.
Right.
And I want to get to the heart of, how are you going to be living in this space?
Yeah.
You know, like what's going to happen in
What's
here?
happening in here?
And then the really cool, you know, we had a fun one where it was a basement remodel, but we got into it and they wanted to do this wine room, but what they wanted was the experience. So we created this, like, it looks like a huge piece of art, and you move it, and it's like you go into this little wine hovel that they can hang out in,
like a hobbit home.
Exactly. And it's so fun, but it's just listening to be like, what do you actually want to use in the space?
Right.
What's actually like, and that fit perfect for what they wanted in that space. And so then it made sense to do it, as opposed to just being like, you know, where's the drywall? Let's start screwing it to the wall.
Yeah, let's just get this in here. That's really fun. And when we did our basement project was the most recent.
Okay.
We started with the built-ins, got a little gun shy because we were like, this took up our whole life. This was crazy.
Yeah.
But it was our first one.
Right.
So we had Grace. Jose was very sweet.
Thanks, Jose.
Yeah, he got to know our dogs.
Yeah,
and, I was like, I don't love this process, but I think you're cool.
Yeah.
And then we did the laundry room and the wallpaper, and the cabinets, and then the basement.
Okay.
So in our basement, when you walk down the stairs, there's 3 parts, 2 unfinished parts on the side that had doors. You could like go in. And then in the middle, what you look is this like large finished room, just long.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of like a bonus room.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And in this room, it just had carpet and white walls. And having a musical family.
Right.
My husband's not the only one that plays.
Okay.
We all play.
What's the whole lineup?
So husband plays. When I met him, he was a touring drummer.
Wow.
Then he moved to singing, playing guitar by himself.
Okay.
Bands are like relationships. So
I get it.
They went through some stuff. I play piano.
Awesome.
My youngest plays piano as well.
Okay.
And then our oldest, he slaps the bass sometimes.
Okay.
He's too cool to really commit to anything right now, but he does like the bass.
That sounds like a him problem.
100%. Like that's not cool.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really like anything.
Yeah.
So we had all these instruments. So I told the designer, I said, I want to make this basement a hangout space.
Yeah.
And she came back with this very pretty, like it could be in better homes, right? Lots of greens, just natural feeling. And I was like, this is so pretty. And I felt really guilty because that was not what I had in my mind at all.
Yeah.
And so what are some kind of questions that because I'm sure sometimes you see the same Pinterest picture.
Oh yeah.
I mean, maybe, or like where people bring you a picture and they're like, I want this. And then you draw it up and they're like, well, not that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some questions that you have to ask to find out, what do you want?
Right.
Because I'm sure there's some like juicy ways to get it out, but sometimes, that's happened in the financial world where sometimes we're very transparent, like very literally black and white. We give them a proposal and it lists out the services we're going to do. And then a month down the road, they're like, wait a minute, why are you doing that? We wanted this. And I have to say, I need to know what your scope looks like.
Yeah.
And let's find where that middle is.
Absolutely.
So how do you get there?
I think the first one is like, you got to care, like,
Sure.
yeah, like
First step.
Yeah. You have to actually, and I think, I don't, nobody under the bus, but I think that a lot of people don't care. They don't really care about the person they're talking to. I think you got to really deeply care. And then the next
Not
part
invested.
is being, you got to care, and then you got to listen. And then, for me, I'm just like, I just want to stay on them. Like, you just tell me about you. I know all about my stuff. Like, I know where the walls need to go, and I know the structural load, and I know the HVAC requirements, and I know all that stuff. I don't need to really like wear you out with all that.
Right.
But what I don't know, and what I want to find out, is, why are you doing this? Like, what are you going to do in here? And who's going to do it with you?
Right.
Like, and then like at the end of this, what are you visualizing? Like, what is the perfect evening, or so getting to do a theater, or like a game, so that same basement, like they had an activity room, and it was
what kind of basement is this?
It was
like
it was so fun.
I mean,
it was so fun.
So cool.
It was like a theater and a den and a full kitchen and a guest bath and an activity room and a gym.
You got a lot going on.
A lot, and but that activity room, he was like, we got a ping pong table, so I'm drawing in my CAD and I put that ping pong table in there, and he's like, well, we want a dance room too. So we design a disco ball to go over the ping pong table, but the problem is you can't dance where there's a ping pong table. So then we spec the closet to be big enough so that ping pong table could fit in that closet. And then so his daughter could dance, and his son, who's into tennis, could play ping pong.
Cool.
But that took a lot of listening.
But you wouldn't know that if you didn't ask, like, what are we doing in here? If someone said a dance room, my mind did not go to disco.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, are we like doing a line dance?
Right. So they had this where they
questions.
could, it's an open room that could fit a ping pong table, and the son could, his son was playing tennis. So it was like, hey, we can play ping pong. We had a place for his friends to sit and watch TV and watch the ping pong, or it could all open up, and then the daughter could turn off the lights, turn on the disco ball, and, it turns into but it's just, listening long enough to be like, what are we trying to do here? Yeah. What are you trying to do here? Yeah. So for your case, we got to do a music studio last year, and that was a lot of fun. Cool. And it was like first time I'd worked with like a sound engineer. Oh yeah. But like that was so fun. It's all important, right? Oh yeah. Like we had to build it where the floors there was like a floating floor over another floor. Cool. So there was no vibration or anything like that. But so just like, who's playing what? Where's it gonna go? How's it gonna affect the space? And then once you have that, then I feel like then that's where you start to like layer on the aesthetic side of it. Like once we kind of like,
we shredded it.
Yeah.
Professionally.
Yes.
We were like, this is beautiful. I'd like to introduce you to my two wild Cuban children. This is not a good start for us. Right. Yeah. Needs to be a little more rough and tumble. Yeah. We were like, love these rugs, but we have 3 dogs. Yeah. Like we need washable. Like I understand it hurts your Pottery Barn soul to say I need a washable rug. Yeah. But it's got to be a ruggable because my dogs don't care. Right. Like they're going to do it. So we did end up making it into a theater with a stage. Okay. So so it had the
sounds fun.
LVP. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, luxury vinyl plank.
Yes, where they
click together. Yes.
Those were the hardwood floors because I thought I wanted hardwood, and the price was I clutched my pearls. Yeah. I was like, man,
that's not in my basement.
I don't think so. What are these, like from the 1800s?
Yeah.
So yes, we did that. We did recliner chairs, and so we got the big projector, but so we had to bring Century in, entertainment guys for the screen, which had the projector, and then we color washed it in black.
Okay. Yeah.
Then we have movie posters, and then the stage is right where the projector screen is, and that's where all the instruments are.
Okay.
And we ended up using those type
like the battens.
For behind it, so that for the sound.
Yeah.
So it turned out well, but there was a moment that I thought something didn't click when we were walking through this project. When I told you things we would like to do, and you showed me better homes. Yeah. I realized my kids aren't there during the day, and so when I talk about them, they probably sound like angels. They are 2 boys.
Yes, you made a bad assumption.
Everything. Yes, we need black, lots of black, just on the walls. They touch everything everywhere they go, so lots of black. So I love hearing that you are asking those questions before you take your time to draw it out, because they're probably is nothing worse. We feel this when we give a proposal. We've had the conversation. We've asked them the questions. What do you want? What does your perfect day look like? We ask people that.
Right.
And the trades are like, I don't have a perfect day.
Fishing? I don't know.
Like I just wake up and work and then I go to bed. It's the creatives that are like, well, I would love to walk my dogs in the morning, you know?
Yeah.
So we do all this work to get to proposal. If we give them a proposal and they are just shooketh.
Right.
Something went wrong in the initial. Yeah. So you're taking the time to.
Well, I just love so for the theater we were doing, like, you know, they would, the friends will come over and so we need a room in front for sleeping bags. Cause you know, my daughter's friends will come over. So we're like thinking through that. And then it's like, you know, well, we're going to have 2 rows of recliners. So we built like a platform for the second row, but then sometimes we want to eat pizza and watch a movie. So then we built a booth, but it was a little bit higher than the second row. So it's like a stair step thing from the front to the back.
I'm going to go to this house.
But being able to visualize with them, like he's like, I'm going to, you know, at the back of the room, I'll probably, some nights I'll need to sit in here and work, but I want to be with the kids, but I want a sight line and we want someplace to put food. And so like,
it's a lot going on that you have to take into account.
You just pull all that in, but that's so helpful for me on the design side. Cause then we're literally like, you know, well, if you're sitting here doing computer work, you probably need a plug somewhere close by. You don't want to crawl on a table and you probably need somewhere to lay your phone. And so, you know, it's just like you get in that space and then, but those are the things, you know, if you ever think of someplace you've been, it's when you don't even have to think about it. It's just it works together, you know?
Intuitive. It's all cohesive.
Yeah. And you're not looking for a place to put your phone. You just naturally put it down and it's charging, you know, like those are the things that you're like, this is so cool.
Authentic Carpentry did so well. They crushed it.
And I think that's what people can lose in the Pinterest pictures. Is like you're not thinking about all that stuff. You're just thinking about kind of the overall wow factor of like, dude, that was so cool. And it is. But what's even cooler is when all that beauty is facilitated and customized to you as a person, to your lifestyle and your, you know, 14-year-old kid and slamming the door on his way in. Whereas, you know, when we built lockers, they, you know, they're like thinking through, like kids come home, they put their thing, they're going to have something in there that needs to charge. So we're like talking through like, that makes total sense. And it fits their lifestyle, you know?
Right.
And I think that to me
fights it.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get at with the design side is like, let's get that 10, let's make it completely enjoyable. And then I'll get to work. I'll figure out how all that works. Like I'll make sure the outlets get where they need to go. Yeah. But from what's really important in this conversation is I want to hear about you. I want to find out like what makes you tick.
What makes you happy.
Yeah.
So as we start coming to a close, I don't know about you, but I get squirrel brain so bad. So any noise, I'm like, we're going to be attacked
It
here.
sounds like the door's
It does. Like they're about to open up a garage. We're going to be like, oh, sorry, Mom, we'll leave the garage. So who are some people, professionals that you like to be introduced to? I ask for myself because I meet so many people. Who are people you like to work with or that you work best with?
Are you saying like as, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah.
Like,
so for me, financial advisors, people at banks, business owners are great introductions because we work with them all the time. Other CPAs, great.
Yeah.
For you, I remember the first designer I had hired. She asked if I could introduce her to contractors. She wanted to work with property managers that are renovating. Of course, she wanted to meet the people in this area.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you have to actually be initiated.
Yeah, let's see how you do.
Right. There's a little bit of a hazing process, but you'll be fine.
Oh, if you survive.
Yeah. So I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Who are some people that you like to work with that you find referrals and things like that?
Yeah. No, I think for Authentic Carpentry, I think our ideal client is kind of the larger the project, the better. Like because we bring I think where we can really help people is more so in that super complicated, you know, like where you're like either, you know, we're working on one right now that they looked everywhere and they just could not find, they love the location, they hate the house. So they're like, okay, well, we have all these aspirations for what the house could be, but we're super confused about like how it could ever possibly come together. And we're like, hey,
we want you.
Yeah, we can help this out.
Okay.
So
complexity
those are
doesn't scare you.
We love complexity. We eat complexity for breakfast. But like,
love that.
And so like that's because to me, like that journey's so fun. They're going like at that point they're super frustrated. They're like, you know, we bought this house 5 years ago. it's always frustrated us that this is this way, whatever it is.
Right. How do we get out of this?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they've lived in this space for 5 years, and I'm able to come in and, like I said, in that particular instance, I had 3 different floor plan ideas that they could go through and experience. And they're just like, wow, I can't imagine that my home could be like that. And you're like, this is so fun.
Feeling.
Yeah. So everything we do is we don't do any new construction. So it's all like as built additions, renovations. But like a full house renovation doesn't scare us. So like we love taking on the more complicated, like the harder it seems, the more pieces there are that need to come together.
You're like, come on.
We're like, and that's what we, my favorite part is like meeting people, making new friends, and then solving problems and getting to go to my little computer and just sit there and tug and pull and be like, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? And then go and show like, hey, look what I came up with. And then being able to collaborate and pull together all the different people that it takes to make that a success, from the designers to the vendors to the trade partners to the contractors to the there's just so many pieces of the puzzle that but you're gonna manage it. That like it's just that's been my bread and butter for so long that I know all those.
That's where it's at. My people like I love outsourcing, but I was also raised to do everything myself. So for my husband, like we kind of mentioned, he's not handy. And so he's like, no, like there's someone out there that can do that. And I'm always like kind of fighting it. Like, I know how to change my own oil, but I guess I don't have to. You take a lot of that off the homeowner's plate, which is nice. Speaking from experience. Because I personally don't, homeowners don't have time to be project managers of their own home.
Right.
So I love that. Where can people connect with you, reach out to you? How do you like to be reached out?
So we try to be fairly active on Instagram and Fits and Sparts. So we're on Instagram under Authentic Carpentry. Yeah. So
that's so young of you.
You can get on there. My millennial self hates it all, but
that's why I was surprised. I was like, not Facebook.
Yeah.
But Instagram. Okay.
That's kind of like our main channel. We have a webpage, but it's kind of like a business card.
Sure.
People can fill out a form there. Really, honestly, you can message me. We have our phone number on our website. We have our phone number on our Instagram. If you want to keep up with us, going on Instagram, hit the follow button.
I will. That's cool.
My brother Ben is almost daily on the stories, kind of posting what jobs we're currently on and stuff like that. And then I try to be a content creator, but like, good Lord, I've also got a job.
I'm telling you, it is. It's always changing. So we love Ben.
To me, it's kind of soul crushing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have worked all day and now I need to like talk to my camera. But
now I have to like have proof that I did it.
Yes. It's like, isn't it just enough that I exist and that I am?
Exactly. When I started my business, I was so upset that I had to go out and talk about it. I was like, I started, everybody come to me now, and then nobody came. So I had to go talk about it. And that was rough.
Well, good for you. It seems like you're doing a lot.
I do this to force myself to talk to people.
Really?
Yeah. And being an accountant, I feel like most accountants are naturally introverted. And so when I joined a BNI, I felt like I was going to die every time I had to do a 30-second commercial.
Okay.
And I realized this is a problem. If we can't tell people what we do, why would they buy from you?
Right.
So doing BNI every single week helps, but this definitely helps because it's a longer form conversation. It helps me talk to clients better. Ask different questions. It also, selfishly, now I have Authentic Carpentry on my Rolodex. And now I can speak on what y'all do and how they can find you. And we're going to find you on Instagram. We'll like all of Ben's posts. We'll like yours too. How will I know?
What's that?
How will I know if it's your post?
You'll know. There's a pretty large visual disparity.
I'll be able to tell. Perfect. Our executive assistant does all of our content.
Okay.
But anytime she wants me to record something, it takes me so long. And she's like, I want you to do a day in the life. And I'm like, I can't. I can't. I don't have a selfie stick.
Right.
My life is not that exciting. So she has to like pull. And it's
I'm still working.
rough.
I'm still working that.
So hard.
Just full disclosure, you can edit this part out, but I recently paid for someone to like make me better on social media. And
of course.
And I was like,
How do you know?
swallowing the bitter pill of making myself post. And so finally I was like, I'm going to do that stupid 30-day challenge where for every day for 3 days.
You have to post every day.
I got like 5 days in, and my coach was like, I don't know what the deal is, but I'm not resonating with this at all. Can you go delete all of those? And I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm so hurt. Because you probably actually put some effort into it.
I was doing this under duress. I was not doing this because I want to be a social media influencer.
Well, no, I don't either, but it's such a
But this is honestly like, and you're doing fantastic. You're really good at this. I feel like this is anymore, you know, like this is your business sign. Like this is how people get to know you. And
people want to know the person behind the business.
Yeah.
They want to feel, you know, I used to compare it to being a rock star, you know, in the 90s, like think Kurt Cobain, there was such a mystique to him. You didn't know what he was thinking or feeling ever.
Right.
Until, you know.
Yes.
But there was this mystery. You wanted to be near him. You wanted to know what he was doing, but you didn't get that access.
Right.
But today, people want an hour-long episode, and they want to learn everything you do, and they want to see how you act, and they want to feel like, all right, I know them as a person. Now I want to hire them.
Yeah.
It can feel exhausting and vulnerable and icky most of the time. But I found that clients watch these and will ask me, so have you worked with Jake? And I will say, well, of course we spent an hour together. And they'll be like, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna send him a message. How can I reach out to him? And I'm like, look at the show notes. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Go to Instagram.
No, let me do it for you.
Yeah. It makes them feel like they are now a part of your circle without having to reach out yet when they're not ready. So when this goes live, you get a Google Drive folder from our team. It's Cam. Cam, if you met Cam.
Yeah.
And they'll give you the assets from this, and you can chop it up and use it as much as you want or don't, or give it to Ben. He can do the things. And we'll make sure to just rave about you in the show notes and tell you all the things.
Oh, that's so awesome.
You have a friend in the accounting world.
Well, thank you.
Always feel like you can reach out, ask questions.
You never know. Accountants are one thing we've turned through.
It's hard. And questions are free, as they should be.
Yeah.
And there's no dumb questions. It's funny, people will start with, this might be a dumb question, or you've never heard this, or I'm kind of embarrassed to even ask this. And every single time I'm like, no. There is no dumb question.
Yes.
And I don't mind answering the same thing. And I probably have heard it before.
Chances are pretty high.
Crazy stuff. Just like you're in the home while I'm in their home financially.
Yeah. Talk about like if there's one level deeper of intimacy than construction, it's accounting.
It is the accounting world. And we hear some crazy stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so,
I can imagine.
Yeah, getting a good poker face has been my strength.
Come in super handy.
Yeah, it's been the thing. Especially because a lot of things are virtual, and you know, people are staring at your face and they're like, hey, I just want to let you know that I'm actually married to someone else legally, and the business is in their name, but I can still file the taxes, right? And I'm like, actually, you know, while they're staring. So learning to control
that's very
reactions
is very important.
So,
yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate you coming out in the snow.
Oh,
this was so good.